Have you ever wondered who's the fastest character in all of Marvel Rivals? Well, I have, and I decided to make them all race in a 60-meter track. But first, some rules. Everyone has to have the same starting position, with the exception of a few, which I'll get to later. Everyone's allowed to set up whatever they want beforehand to help them be faster in any way. Now, obviously, since this is completely flat terrain, this is going to help some characters more than others. And finally, the timer doesn't start until the player crosses the starting line, and it doesn't finish until they appear over the finish line. Also, this comparison is mostly for fun, because I know these races aren't perfect, and if you change the rules, it will benefit some way more than others. But it does give a good idea of the absolute max speed a character can finish 60 meters in. To start off with, we're going to do the tanks, starting with Magneto. Mag has 0 movement abilities, so he gets a time of about 10.5 seconds. The second number is not milliseconds, it's actually frames, which is why it limits at 60. Groot also has no movement ability, so I just skipped him, he has the exact same time. As for Hulk, I went into ultimate mode because he gets bigger jumps when he's in his ultimate, and this results in a time of exactly 5.5 seconds. Thor actually does have movement ability. It's his shift, which lets him swing his hammer and dash forward. This is the only good movement ability worth using, and it's 6.5 seconds. With Strange, I didn't include his portal because that would be too quick, it's just instantaneous. But if you ignore his portal, he actually still has one movement ability, and that's his jumping in the air ability. It saves about half a second from his time. Now Cap has a bunch of abilities, so I had to do this a few times, and the best time I got was 4 seconds, 0.66. So a little less than 5 seconds. With Venom, all he needed was one swing, and that gave him by far the fastest time of 1.5 seconds. With Penny, you want to use her web and then ultimate right after for the fastest possible time of 4 seconds. The Thing actually gets a pretty good time even when he's all by himself. He managed to get a time of 6 seconds. But if you add up a teammate with him, he can speed up that time by about 1 second because he can jump to them. At first you may think Emma has no movement ability, but actually she does. She can dash forward in her diamond form. She can do this twice, giving her a slightly faster time than Groot and Magneto of 9 seconds. Now that all the tanks are done racing, let's compare the results. At first place we have Venom, absolutely destroying the race at 1.6 seconds. Then we have Penny at 4.2, followed up closely by Captain America. It seems like there are like 3 tiers of speed here, number 1 being Venom, number 2 being everyone from Penny till Thor, and number 3 being the last 4 tanks who have nearly no movement ability. Now it's time to test out the duelists. First up, we have Hela. Hela has one movement ability, she turns into a bird and flies for a bit. This gives her a time of 9.5 seconds roughly. Next we have Moon Knight. With Moon Knight, because it's such a long distance, you mainly want to use his gliding, so his jumping and other abilities just used to gain some height, giving him 7.5 seconds. And finally for Iron Man, super simple, you just fly straight forward. His time is slowed down a tiny bit because of the way he stops, giving him 5.5 seconds. And for Punisher, I let him set up the zip wire, but it barely makes a difference anyways. He has about 2.5 seconds. With Bucky, you want to use his uppercut and then ultimate right after. This gives you a pretty good time of about 6 seconds. For Psylocke, I just did 2 dashes, go invisible as she's faster in her invisibility mode, giving her a quick time of 5.5 seconds. Now, funnily enough, for Storm, she's actually faster before her ultimate starts than she is during her ultimate, but I didn't stop the timer until she physically appeared as a character, giving her 4.5 seconds. Okay, for Panther, I let him set up some enemies so he can finish this as fast as possible, give him 2.1 seconds roughly. Then I redid it where he doesn't get to set up enemies and he still got a pretty fast time, 6 seconds. Finally, I did one where he can use his team up with magic, giving him like a teleportation ability, and this was his second fastest time of nearly 5 seconds. With Spider-Man, just one swing and the momentum off of that was super fast, even faster than Venom with about 1 second, 0.66. Star-Lord was really easy, just fly straight forward and that's it, about 5 seconds. The Human Torch is also really simple, fly straight forward, giving him a decent time of 7 seconds. Now with Hawkeye, he just has like a jumping ability which sped him up a little bit. He gets 10 seconds. Magic had to be in her ultimate form so she can get like a bigger dash, and this gave her a pretty good time of 5.5 seconds. Now for Wolverine, I did let him use a team up, even though this might be gone one day, who knows, but I gave him a time of 2.5 seconds. Wolverine has 3 really good abilities, his dash, his kidnap, and his ultimate. This gives him about 4 seconds. Now for Black Widow, we just ran straight forward and put in a few jumps for a little extra speed. resulting in 7.5 seconds. Namor has absolutely no movement ability, giving him a default time of 10.5 seconds. Scarlet Witch does move a bit faster when she phases out, so using that twice gave her a slightly faster time. For Iron Fist, I am ulting. This helps his speed because of the punches. Also, his dash kick is good for distance, finishing at a time of 5.25 seconds. Pearl Girl only has her jump ability, but she can also reload that ability, so she gets to use it twice. So it made for an okay time of 8.9 seconds. Mr. Fantastic can use his backshot ability and then his ultimate to get the fastest time possible of 4.5 seconds. Now that all the DPS are done, let's compare their results. At number 1, quite obviously it was going to be Spider-Man, followed closely by Panther, then Punisher. Wolverine kind of ties with Punisher with the team up, but even at solo, he still gets to keep 4th place. After that, everyone else has really close times, but there's still 10 more duelists to look at. Psylocke is just outside the top 10, so is Bucky, but then everyone from Moon Knight and later is a lot slower, the absolute slowest being Namor, with no movement ability at all. And now it's time to test out the strategists. Loki has his teleport, but that's basically all he has, cutting down his time to under 6 seconds. Obviously with Cloak and Dagger, you just want to ultimate. The ultimate took so much distance, we didn't even have time to use her invisibility to speed up. Surprisingly, his ultimate was about the same speed as if he surfed underground and walked through your bubbles, so this was really close. With the Mantis, obviously her ultimate is what makes her faster, and she has no other movement ability. It also makes her teammates faster, giving her exactly 6 seconds. Luna is the only person I let get a run up beforehand, because obviously she needs it if she wants to start running. Whereas everyone else, their speed doesn't change. She gets 6.5 seconds. With Invisible Woman, she has the jumping ability, but no other movement ability, giving her a little more than 9 seconds. Finally, Rocket is the only player I let go near the walls, because he needs the walls if he wants to really move fast. His time is a little under 6 seconds. Adam Warlock has absolutely no movement ability, giving him a default time of 10.5 seconds. Finally, with all the strategists done, we can compare their results. Number 1 being Jeff the Shark, followed very closely by Raccoon, who actually could have been a bit faster, so maybe it'd be even closer. Third is Loki, 4th is Mantis, and Cloak and Dagger. Both had to rely on their ult for this. And the 2 slowest is Invisible Woman and Adam Warlock. Now that we've compared all the tanks, the DPS, the strategists, there's one final comparison to be done. After combining every role, in first place we have a tie between a tank, a DPS, and a strategist at 1.6 seconds. If you're wondering what Loki's doing here, technically you can use his ultimate and become Spider-Man or Venom, so he gets to stay in here. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place are DPS, 5th place is a tank, 6th, 7th another DPS, 8th, 9th tank, and 10th place DPS. I decided to do the calculation for the average speed of a DPS, tank, and strategist, and these are the results. And obviously these are the fastest characters from each role. I could have included Loki in here, but I don't know, I wanted to give Jeff his props to be honest. Anyways, if you made it this far into the video, here's a fun fact. Wolverine and Black Panther are the only characters who have a faster than average moving speed. Everyone else walks at the exact same speed. Like the video if this was useful, subscribe, and see you guys next time.